The Coast Guard found my daughter after 3 years. The phone rang at 2:17 a.m. Hospitals never call at that hour with good news. The voice on the line was clipped, professional, hiding something it didn't want to say too early. Your daughter has been found. My chest tightened as if someone had cinched a rope around my ribs. 3 years of silence, of grave markers without bodies, of unanswered prayers, all unraveled in a single sentence. But it was the way the nurse hesitated before continuing that unsettled me. She's alive. She's asking for you. She says it's urgent. By the time I arrived, the hallways were heavy with the sterile smell of antiseptic and secrets. My footsteps echoed too loudly, each one a reminder that this wasn't a dream I could shake off. Then I saw her. My little girl, grown thin, her skin marked by sun and solitude. She looked like a ghost given flesh. Her fingers gripped my arm with unnatural strength. Her eyes, wild, frantic, burned into mine. "They're coming for you, Dad. Leave the town before morning." Her nails dug into my skin. I wanted to ask who, why, but the fear in her voice silenced me. And when I left her room, shaken, the cold night air slapped me awake. In the parking lot, under the flickering yellow lights, someone was already waiting. He stood too still to be casual. A man dressed in a suit that didn't belong in hospital parking lots. His shadow stretched across the pavement like a blade. I froze. My daughter's warning echoed inside me. "They're coming for you." The man didn't move closer, didn't speak. He only watched, long enough for me to understand he knew me, and then he turned and disappeared into the dark. Back in the car, I tried to steady my breathing, but the cracks were already forming in the quiet veneer of my life. My wife hadn't come with me. She'd insisted she was too distraught, too unprepared to see our daughter alive. Her absence felt wrong. On the drive home, the suspicion burrowed deeper. 3 years missing. My daughter, alone on an island, surviving somehow. And the first words she said were not about hunger or love or relief, only warning. Someone had taken her. Someone had kept her. And my wife's tears, her excuses, her empty bed that night, they felt rehearsed. The next morning, I didn't confront her. I smiled over coffee, I kissed her cheek, and I quietly began to dig. I started with her phone. Not the one she kept on the counter, but the second one she thought I didn't know about. The one tucked inside her nightstand drawer. The messages were coded, but not enough. "He's asking about her again. You promised this would end. We can't keep covering." Names never mentioned, numbers untraceable. But the pattern was clear. She had been in contact with someone the entire time our daughter was missing. My stomach twisted, but my face remained calm. I sent in a DNA sample, mine, hers, our daughter's, under the guise of a medical cross-check. The lab technician didn't question my lie. Science rarely does. Each day that week, I lived as though nothing had changed. Dinner, laughter, bills, work. She believed the performance. She didn't notice the silence inside me, the rage cooling into something sharper. When the results arrived, I opened them alone. The truth bled from the page like poison. My daughter wasn't mine. That night, I placed the envelope on the kitchen table. No words, no accusations, just silence. She walked in, saw it, and froze. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. Her eyes scanned the lines once, twice, 3 times, as if the letters might rearrange themselves into mercy. Finally, she looked at me. Tears welled, lips parted to explain, to plead. I said nothing. The quiet was more brutal than any shout. She broke against it, sobbing, reaching, crumbling. I remained still, watching. A surgeon dissecting the heart he once thought he knew. The next day, I drove her to the hospital. She thought it was for a visit, for our daughter. She didn't know it was for an ending. In the room, my daughter's eyes flicked between us, unsettled, sensing the storm. I handed her mother the chair beside the bed, then leaned down and whispered, "Tell her who her father is, or I will." Her face drained. She shook her head, stammering excuses. I stayed calm. She deserves truth, not your lies. The silence stretched until she cracked, her voice breaking as she confessed. The words spilled out, names, years of deceit, the man in the shadows who wasn't me. My daughter's face hardened, not with grief, but with clarity. The bond between them shattered in that moment, and I walked out. Not in anger, not in violence, but with the weight of power reclaimed. I didn't look back as I left the hospital. Her sobs followed me down the corridor, echoing off sterile walls, fading with every step. Outside, the air was sharp, cold, cleansing. For the first time in years, I felt the stillness of control. The truth had cost me blood, time, trust, but it had freed me. They had taken my daughter. They had stolen my fatherhood, but they had not broken me. By morning, I would be gone from this town, and they would never see me again. Because some betrayals don't end in forgiveness. They end in silence. And silence, I realized, is the cruelest revenge of all.